I often get asked on social media or by clients, is it possible to run a successful tarot business and earn a full-time living out of it? And it absolutely is. I do it. I know plenty of other people that do it. What I would say is that it's not necessarily a quick way to earn money, that it takes time. And you really need to love tarot to be able to do it, because as you can see by this deck, which is 6 years old now, it involves a lot of time sat with your cards. A really good starting point and a practical tool wherever you are in your tarot business or any holistic business, actually use your tools for yourself. Okay, if you can't use tarot to guide your life, then I'm going to say you're going to struggle to use it for anyone else. Firstly, that's because if you're reading the cards and you haven't read for yourself recently, you will naturally start to see confusion between what the cards are trying to say to you and what the cards are trying to say to your client. And secondly, if you're not meeting your own needs emotionally and spiritually with the cards, there will be some resentment in meeting other people's needs. And there's no better way to learn a tool and to feel comfortable with it than using it for ourselves. And so quite often, what I will do, and I'll demonstrate two different tools that I use with tarot in my business. Let's ask. I'm asking now 3 cards. It's November now, which is ridiculous. I'm asking, what should my business focus be this November? I've shuffled. I've asked a question. I like to cut the deck. It would be the Tower. I have literally spent 2 days writing about this card. For those of you that don't know, and I'll put a link in the comments, I am currently running a tarot correspondence course, which is the deepest dive into tarot I've ever done. So a small part of me wonders, am I getting the Tower because I've literally been immersing myself in this card? But no, that's a get out. The Tower represents, we've got 3 windows here. The 3s in the minor arcana represent early success, the flowering, the fruiting of a project. This is about letting go of early success to allow personal growth. And it's scary because when we've got something that is working for us, it's really hard to stop and say, actually, it has worked. It's got me to this point. I'm really grateful for it, but I need to surrender to the process now and allow the change to happen. I think this is very much my client work. I am a solo mum. I rent in the south of England, which is an expensive place to rent. And client work is my safe way of paying the bills. Actually, for the growth of the business, writing another book, better advertising for my mentoring and teaching services would be much better. But I tend to over cram my client hours because it's safe. The 7 of Swords, taking a risk, taking a punt. I'm comfortable with client work. I've racked up a phenomenal number of hours and I'm very comfortable with it. And I am growing into my role as spiritual mentor, spiritual coach, and teacher. So the 2 of Pentacles would be getting the balance right between what has served me and what is probably going to serve me better in the future. Now, I am never going to stop doing my one-to-one client work because I love it. And I think that it feeds my understanding of the cards. But with the King of Swords, and this is on my to-do list today, and it has been all week, and I still haven't done it, managing my time better. That is probably my biggest downfall as a business owner. I'm great at turning up for clients on time. I'm fine with that. But when it comes to the stuff behind the scenes, I tend to expect too much of myself, then feel disappointed, and then forget things. Basically, I need to manage my time better to allow me to break free of such hard client hours, to allow me to have a bit of time, better balance. And so what I would do and what I will do after this video is I will journal this, and I will find bullet points, and I will perhaps put in my diary for each week, check my work calendar, make sure that I'm fitting in the time that I want, and I will bullet point this. So reading for yourself on a daily, a weekly, a monthly basis to track your life, and if you are looking to build a holistic business, to ask the cards what you should best do, is a great way to keep it on track. The other thing you can do, and you'll notice this is a deck a beautiful deck that I was gifted. Although I usually only read professionally with the Rider-Waite deck, I am only human, and I have an enormous number of decks that I play with personally. One of the things that I like to do with what I call my play decks, and as you can see, this one is not all right way around, is with this reading, I would then leave the cards out. Because just as visually our unconscious or our intuitive self is reading the images, by leaving the right cards out on your desk, by your bedside table, wherever you're going to see them the most, your unconscious will notice them. That's one of the reasons why when I'm not reading with my cards on my desk, I always turn them that way around, because I don't want a message going into my unconscious that isn't necessarily suitable for me. So I'm just going to ask, this time it's going to be one card. I rarely do one card. So let's hope it's not the Nine of Swords, huh? What does this deck want my inspired focus, my vision for November to be? A message from my higher guidance, a beacon of hope to focus my business on for the month of November. There we go. In case it took me a moment, I had to read it because it has the name in different languages. Just to be quite clear, that's the King of Swords. So I may have put them, there we go. The card at the bottom of the pack was the King of Swords. That's why I love tarot. My guy, I think the tarot is right. Basically, if I need to manage my time in a much better and more objective way, I'm completely drawn in by the fact this. I don't know much about this deck. It was gifted. It's beautiful. I am using it, but I have not researched it. It's very much like Henry VIII. I've been doing a bit of research to see if it is meant to be Henry VIII, but that is the King of Swords. So now what I will do is I will be placing that on my desk, so that in fact, I'm going to place it on my diary, so that every time I sit with my diary, I will see that card and it will inspire me to embrace the King of Swords in a business perspective.